Next, it wasn't exactly a ringing endorsement from the mayor. When asked about London's Crossrail project, he said he couldn't say whether or not he had confidence in the way it was being run. The sight today of rows of Crossrail trains standing idle in West London was a reminder of the 9-month delay. And as our political correspondent Simon Harris reports, when the mayor found out about the delay is still under scrutiny tonight.
Row upon row of trains going nowhere. Nothing underlines the sorry saga of Crossrail more than this. The flagship fleet for London's new Elizabeth line is at a standstill, parked up in sidings in West London. By now, these trains should be in the final stages of a test programme before a royal opening in December. But out of the blue at the end of August, Crossrail bosses announced a delay of almost a year. The London Assembly has accused the mayor, the government and TfL of hiding the truth about when Crossrail would be ready. Who knew what and when is now at the heart of a political row. According to the London Assembly, on July the 19th, executives told a Crossrail board meeting they could no longer have confidence on a December opening. A week later, on July the 26th, the mayor is said to have been updated on increasing pressures by Crossrail's chairman. But it wasn't until the 29th of August and another board meeting that the decision to delay the opening was confirmed. The mayor insists he was kept in the dark until then, despite discussing Crossrail at every TfL board meeting.
We discussed the risks and the challenges and what's happening with the project. Additionally, the chair of Crossrail Limited comes to various committee meetings TfL hold and reports regularly on Crossrail progress. Not until towards the end of August were we told of the cancellation to the opening of Central Section being delayed from December.
There are so many questions around Crossrail and more questions seem to emerge each day. But I'm absolutely convinced that the mayor knew in July that there were going to be severe delays to Crossrail, increases in the budget, and I think the mayor just needs to come clean with Londoners because it makes him just look incompetent.
The mayor has ordered a review of the way Crossrail is managed and is awaiting its outcome.
So that's one of the reasons why I can't say publicly or privately that I've got confidence in the way Crossrail Limited is being run, and that's why it's important we get a grip on this.
Tonight, Crossrail confirmed that tests involving multiple trains in the tunnels won't start until the end of the year.
Let's return to this question of what the mayor knew when. There's been a development tonight.
Yes, the mayor has been consistently very precise in the words he uses, insisting he didn't know about the long delay until the end of August. But I put it to City Hall earlier today that he saw a document on July the 26th shown to him by the chairman of Crossrail, which outlined different scenarios involving cost overruns and delays. And half an hour ago, I received this response from City Hall. In briefings to the mayor and TfL in late July, Crossrail Limited has raised increasing cost and scheduling pressures they were managing and discussed the potential risks these could have for different parts of the project if not resolved. So it seems to suggest that the mayor did in fact know earlier than the end of August that the planned opening might not go to plan.
Simon, thank you very much. Thank you.
The Mayor Sadiq Khan has called for an end to the online abuse directed at his Conservative rival, Sean Bailey. The two will go head-to-head in the next mayoral election in 2020, but the Tory candidate has said he's faced racist and derogatory attacks on social media ever since his nomination last month. Here's our political correspondent, Simon Harris.
My name is Sean Bailey and I will be the next Mayor of London.
When Sean Bailey was chosen as the Conservative candidate for mayor, he knew he'd be in Labour's firing line. But as controversial comments from his past began to surface, he also faced a tirade of personal, sometimes racist abuse on Twitter, with comments like, "Sean Bailey is the biggest Uncle Tom to walk the planet. Sean Bailey is a lying coconut as far as I'm concerned."
I've had a lot of racist abuse, in particular, since I've been involved in public life. All I would say to anybody trying to get involved is you've got to soldier on. What I always comfort myself with, people abuse me because they can't take on my argument. They see the value in my argument, so they think they'll just attack me instead. But you just have to grow a thick skin, which is really unfortunate.
These politics students at Queen Mary's University in London's East End recognise Bailey's experience has become the new normal.
What he has said he should be held accountable for, because it is something that needs to be addressed, whether he wants to do it or not. But equally, you shouldn't use it against their character.
It's devolved into a free-for-all in terms of personal abuse, and it's made British politics quite immature, I think, and made the British public look quite immature.
Social media acts as this platform whereby people see no physicality in it. They're behind their keyboard, they can say whatever they want with no repercussions.
I'm not saying it's good for them. You have to be prepared to put up with that. Celebrities or public figures, it's especially politics, because you have to say what you think and believe and feel. It's somebody's going to disagree with you and somebody's going to share that opinion.
Bailey's main rival in the 2020 race for City Hall is the current mayor, Sadiq Khan. He too has faced hostility, abuse and racism online.
I can understand why people have got concerns about some of the things Sean Bailey has said. What is not acceptable, it is not acceptable, is to be abusive and definitely to use racist language against any candidate, let alone a candidate standing to be the mayor of London. We should be encouraging minority communities to get involved in politics. We should be encouraging all young people to get involved in politics. And this sort of language, racist language in particular, discourages young people getting involved in politics rather than encourages them.
In the last election for mayor in 2016, David Cameron attempted to draw links between Khan and some radical preachers.
It is very important that we do not back these people and we do not appear on platforms with them. And I have to say, I am concerned about Labour's candidate as Mayor of London, who has appeared again and again and again.
That Conservative campaign was later condemned as one of the nastiest in recent London elections. Both Tory and Labour candidates are promising a much cleaner fight in 2020.
Well, Simon will be talking more about that on the late debate tonight, and he's over at our studio in Westminster now. You'll also be talking about the Crossrail project, won't you, Simon?
Charlene, earlier this week, City Hall finally admitted the Mayor of London was briefed about possible delays to Crossrail as early as July, although the public wasn't told until the end of August. The stock market wasn't told either, and that may now be the subject of an investigation by the Financial Conduct Authority. So when the Rail Minister Joe Johnson came into the studio earlier, I asked him when he knew the project was in trouble.
Not fast enough is the answer to that. We wanted to know sooner that they were going to encounter a delay of this magnitude.
Did you know in July or August?
At this stage, as the board of Crossrail met on the 29th of August and formally decided they were no longer going to be able to manage the risks to the timelines that they'd all wanted to and told us then. So that's when those risks crystallised.
Do you know how much more it's going to cost?
No, not yet. There is going to be
worrying, isn't it?
There is going to be a delay. And delay means extra cost because you've got to keep the teams on the ground, working on the tunnels, testing the trains, and that's all unfortunately going to take longer than we wanted.
So £15.4 billion and rising. I also asked Mr Johnson if he had confidence in the Crossrail management. To hear what he said and the rest of that interview, join me for the late debate here on ITV at 10:45. Charlene.
Simon, thanks very much.